Welcome to round 3 of the Full Group Games Gym Leader Challenge League Night. This round features Alex Carpenter, currently has 6 badges, playing his water deck with Palafin, Seismitoad, things like that. It's the low energy cost water deck that Mahone has recently made popular. And Alex is going up against Lee Hoffman, who is a first-time Full Grip Gym Leader Challenge player. He is playing his Turbo Dragon deck featuring this Reshiram that's in the active with its Turbo Blaze ability. And Turbo Blaze allows you to, when Reshiram is in the active, to attach a fire energy from your hand to one of your dragon Pokemon. So put a float stone or an air balloon on that Reshiram. Anytime you get knocked out, you can put it active and begin accelerating some energy. I believe Lee only plays 5 Pokemon in this deck, 5 basic Pokemon. The Reshiram, the Druddigan that has the Revenge attack, and Drampaw. He plays a Drampaw with the Dragon Arcana attack, which does 70 plus damage. If this Pokemon has 2 or more different types of energy on it, 2 or more types of different basic energy, this attack does 70 more damage, so it's capping at 140. He's also playing the Koraidon, the new Koraidon Dragon type, and the Regidrago that draws cards in the active. Alex goes first, wins the coin flip, and has Snorunt on the bench with his cast form active. And Lee, on his first turn, has no other basic Pokemon in play, has to play the Cypher Maniac to stack his deck. And in response, Alex plays N. So those cards that Lee just stacked on his deck will not be what he draws in the next turn. So rendering that first supporter useless. Now, off the N, let's see what Alex has. The Snorunt can evolve into a Frostlass that can put up to 7 damage counters on itself to do 140 damage, just for 1 energy. And Alex finds no other basic Pokemon to put onto his bench. He would love to find the Finizen or any of his evolving basic Pokemon to just get more setup. Just the cast form and the Snorunt are not going to do it. He passes back to Lee. Lee debating what to play down. He's got the Regidrago in hand, a Versus Seeker, an Escape Rope it looks like, Rescue Stretcher. Not a ton of options here. A Revive. He does have Guzma and Hala in hand, so I think he's debating what to discard with Guzma and Hala. Off the Guzma and Hala, I'd probably go for something like Story Mountain's Double Dragon Energy. That way you can begin attaching, potentially attack, as well as search out more basic Pokemon. And the Rescue Stretcher in hand can get the Regidrago he discarded right back onto the bench. And it looks like he is grabbing the Double Dragon Energy. Turbo Energize is a good grab there. He can attack with the active Reshiram to accelerate some energy onto one of his benched Pokemon. We'll see what he has here. Viridian Forest looks like his grab. And with this hand, it means that Regidrago will be the only other benched Pokemon for Lee. He'll have to play the Rescue Stretcher. Oh, and Lee is going back and he changed his mind. He's going for the Pokestop. Maybe wanting to find... Maybe not really worried about finding energy right now since he has the Turbo Energize and the Double Dragon, but hopefully he can find some more ways to bench some basic Pokemon. Also, this pairs well with the Versus Seeker in his hand, because if he does mill off a supporter, he can play it on the next turn. He plays Rescue Stretcher to get back the Regidrago and hits the Pokestop. Acrobike, Mallow, and Silene are the hits, so Mallow and Silene go to the discard pile. He gets Acrobike, which allows him to dig 2 cards deeper, and he finds a Koraidon, another basic Pokemon, which is what he wants to see there. He can load his board up with energy, and that will be a pretty strong board state for him, especially because of Alex's lack of Pokemon in play. Lee just wants to start putting on pressure, taking knockouts as soon as possible. He attaches Double Dragon to Regidrago and uses Turbo Energize with Reshiram. And he picks a fire and a fighting energy to attach to that Koraidon. Now both Regidrago and Koraidon are just one basic energy attachment away from being able to attack. Alex here will probably just want to start finding as many basic Pokemon as he can, and he has Irida for turn. Remoraid evolving into Octillery is a crucial piece of Alex's draw engine, as well as Sobble. The fact that Alex had to go 2 turns without finding either of them means what Alex can do each turn is extremely limited. Those are usually the first couple Pokemon you would grab in a water deck, just to allow you to keep setting up. Buddy Palafin to get some more basic Pokemon in play, and then also finding the Frostlass so he can start putting on pressure himself before he gets a little bit overwhelmed by Lee's pressure. And he's debating what to grab off the Buddy Palafin. Hisuian Basculin is his grab, as well as the Temple. So Alex really prioritizing finding a full bench of Pokemon this turn. He attaches to the Temple, and I think we'll see a retreat into the Basculin to find 2 more basic Pokemon. And Alex went from a pretty rough board state to a pretty strong board state in this turn, meaning he could probably respond to Lee's pressure in the following turn. Especially with the energies already on Frostlass, he's ready to attack, and Temple beginning to get powered up. And like I said, the Remoraid and the Sobble are Alex's grabs. He really prioritizes the consistency that these 2 Pokemon bring when they evolve. Now it's Lee's turn. Lee plays Battle Compressor to thin his deck down, make it so he is only drawing the heat. He discards Battle VIP Pass, debating on the Quick Ball. I would probably want to keep the Quick Ball in hand, or in deck, to allow him to find more basic Pokemon, but he decides to discard a Water Energy and a Druddigon, which is interesting. Makes me think he has something like Clara in his hand. That means he could grab the Druddigon and the 2 energy that are already in the discard pile and put them, start putting those into play. Since he already has basically a confirmed attack for turn with the Escape Rope, he just needs an energy. And that's correct. He does have Clara in hand, which is why he discarded the Druddigon and an energy off of the Battle Compressor. To get full effect of that, though, I might have even left the Battle VIP Pass in the deck and grabbed another Pokemon. Though he only plays 5 Pokemon, and we're already seeing 4 here. He is only missing the Drampa, so maybe it's prized. Lee plays Escape Rope, and Alex is just going to sacrifice his cast form. It's not very needed right now. It's just a simple free retreat for the deck to be able to attack with things like the Palafin that requires retreats. And Lee going into attack with the Koraidon. I would have loved to see him go up with the Regidrago. Since he only has 2 cards in hand, I don't see why he wouldn't just... Even though I know you want to maybe preserve the double dragon, you already have Koraidon built up for an attack. Why not use the ability to draw a couple more cards? And now he plays the Pokestop, and he finds the red card, which forces Alex to shuffle his hand into his deck and draw 4, limiting the cards he has in hand. But Lee still only Lee could have done all these same things had he played the Regidrago active. Could have seen a lot more cards. So I do believe it is a bit greedy. He's playing a bit scared by going up with the Koraidon. But he's still in a really strong spot. He has a lot of energy in play already. And he can always draw some more cards next turn. But again, being able to draw with Regidrago would have been probably the thing to do here. Now... Especially because now Alex could even gust up the Regidrago and limit Alex's draw even more. And then he would have never had any use of the Regidrago. But anyways, Lee does take the first knockout with the Koraidon, and Alex promotes the Temple, which makes me think that he has a way to get the Seismitoad from the cards in hand. But no, he actually just decides to retreat. Maybe he was hoping to find the cards to attack with Temple. Oh, okay. Great play by Alex. He wanted to be able to play the Raihan in his hand. He had no energy in the discard pile though, so manually retreating the temple allows him to play the Raihan. And there he goes. He grabs the Octillery right away so he can begin drawing. Having that consistency piece turn after turn is exactly what he needs right now. Alex also has not hit the Pokestop at all. You know, when it's not built for your deck, it is pretty risky to discard some key pieces. It's pretty much, I would only use it if it's not mine, if my deck isn't built for it, if, you know, I'm in a desperate situation. If Alex had nothing to play there, I'm sure he would have hit the Pokestop, but he smartly promoted the temple to get that energy in the discard pile. Alex debating where to put this pot helmet. Who does he want to protect? But he decides not to play it right now and just simply takes the knockout with the Frostlass. And it is Lee's go. He draws for turn. I believe it's a boss's orders. He's debating on if he wants to play it or not. This could be huge. I would target down the Octillery here maybe. Alex didn't do a ton. He didn't evolve any other Pokemon. And if Frostlass keeps attacking, it will kill itself. So since Alex has no other attackers set up right now, I wouldn't want to hit the Frostlass since it is potentially going to give up a prize on its own anyways. I would target definitely the Octillery here if I was Lee. Now, off this trainer's mail, Lee finds the mysterious treasure, discards an Ultra Ball to get back the Drampa, the only remaining Pokemon in his deck. It was not the boss's orders in hand, but it was the Mela. So unfortunately, Lee is unable to target down anything on the bench here. Lee plays the Ether, an interesting card I have literally never seen played in Gym Leader Challenge before. It is simply look at the top card of your deck, and if it is an energy, a basic energy, you can attach it to one of your Pokemon. However, it is not a basic energy this time. And Lee plays the Palpad, putting back in a couple supporters. He's going to put back in the Clara, which allows him to continue to loop the very little amount of Pokemon he has, as well as make use of Reshiram's Turbo Blaze ability were it to be in the active. Silene is the other choice, which I think is a good card in the Dragon deck because there are only so many ways you can get back your Double Dragon energy, which is normally considered the best card in your deck. So being able to put that back into play is, in any way, usually pretty strong if you can pull that off. Alex probably pretty happy to see that Lee has to swing in to the Frostlass this turn instead of targeting any of his support Pokemon on the board. And again, this just makes me think it had Lee been able to draw a couple more cards earlier. There's the boss with the draw with Regidrago. Had Lee been able to draw a couple cards earlier with Regidrago, I wonder if he would have been able to find the boss. I know the deck was shuffled, so there's obviously no guarantee, but you know, seeing those extra cards really does matter in games like this. Lee takes the knockout on the Frostlass and goes down to 4 prizes remaining. Alex at 5 prizes remaining promotes the Basculin with the energy attached. Maybe looking for the Grudge Dive return hit or simply just a Pokemon that can retreat. Since he has no other attackers in play right now, he can't guarantee anything else, so promoting that is smart. With the Brooklet Hill in play, Alex searches out the Finizen. Palafin, one of the strongest water attackers in the game right now. Being able to do 210 damage for only 2 energy is absurdly strong. And the pot helmet will go on the Palafin, or on the Finizen. The Palafin, when it evolves, does have 150 HP, so the pot helmet will put it over that 160 damage threshold and attaches an energy to it. Marnie is the play here. It looks like no big knockout attacks will come from Alex. If he's able to find the Grudge Dive, he can confuse Lee to potentially slow him down, but if not, Lee will just be able to take another knockout here. Alex, with the draw of 5, finds the level ball, which could find him the Drizzile to get him the Basculegion. And he does find the Evolution Incense, goes for the Basculegion with the Grudge Dive. This will cap out at 120 damage, but Alex probably hoping to simply buy a turn as he looks for his bigger attackers like the Seismitoad and the Palafin. So far, Temple unable to evolve. The Seismitoad is a major game changer. If Alex can ever get into play and force Lee to have an extra energy to every attack, that is a major hurdle for any dragon deck to overcome when you're already needing 3 energy in play to attack. With the Abyssal Hand, he does find the Palpitoad, gets him 1 step closer to the Seismitoad. And he announces Grudge Dive as his attack, 120 damage and Confusion coming at the Regidrago. Now Lee needs to find a switch out to attack reliably without flipping a coin under this Confusion. Escape Rope is already down. I don't know how many switches he plays. Probably not too many. Guzma would be probably the ideal card here. Oh, double tails on both Turbo Patch and Energy Sticker. So Lee fails to get any more energy in play. He has the Recycle now. So many coin flips coming from this deck. Also a tails. That's 3 tails in a row for Lee. All of those are failed. Might as well be 3 blank cards. What's interesting though is that since those were all playable, this does allow him to draw lots more cards with Regidrago's ability to hopefully get out of this situation. He draws 3. He finds the Max Elixir. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Top 6 cards of your deck for an energy. Unfortunately, whiffs entirely. Doesn't look like there's a ton of energy left in the deck, and he did prize 2 energy. Lee just whiffed on 4 of his cards in this turn. Complete failures. Has gained no advantage or support from any of those cards. That is tough to see. Lee could have used Silene to just put some energy on top of the deck, assuming he doesn't flip tails, to guarantee a hit with the Max Elixir, because I don't know what else he plans on doing this turn. It doesn't look like he has a lot of options. He's going to play the Silene anyways. He does have the Bicycle in hand that I see, so actually this could work out great if he can flip some heads here. 1 heads is perfect. That's all he needs to guarantee a switch out with something like the Escape Rope. 2 heads is perfect. He'll be able to draw both of whatever he finds. And he is eyeing up that Escape Rope, debating what the other draw should be. And Lee goes for the Mela, prioritizing some energy attachments. Since all those energy attachment cards whiffed, Lee might need some extra acceleration abilities. But since he played Silene, it won't have any effect this turn, so I wonder if maybe he's thinking of switching it to one of the item-based acceleration cards to potentially roll the dice again and find an attachment this turn. He also could just decide to put a regular basic energy on top of the deck since he hasn't even detached for turn yet. So to guarantee finding a basic energy may be a good play this turn. So right now, none of his benched Pokemon are even guaranteed to take a knockout. Unless he attaches to the Druddigon and then retreats both of his energy off, which, if I was Alex, I'd be pretty happy to see that. At that point, you can take the return knockout on the Drago. Only the Reshiram has an energy attached to it. Lee plays the Bicycle, draws those 2 cards he put on top. And the last card is the Floatstone, so that is huge. That is a huge top deck for Lee. It allows him to reset the Confusion and retreat right back into the Regidrago, not burning any of his energies. Wow. What a top deck. Lee goes back up with the Regidrago to take another knockout on the Snorunt. And Lee goes down to 3 prizes remaining. Alex, Still at 5 prizes remaining. But Seismitoad looks like it is his turn to shine. Alex's board is pretty scary here. He's got Grudge Dive active. He's got probably a Seismitoad about to come into play. And Palafin is almost here. Inteleon can guarantee lots of those pieces. And Lee, with so few cards in hand each turn and Regidrago about to go down, he is relying on the top deck so much. With the Floatstone on the Reshiram though, and the Clara in hand, he will be able to get a return swing, potentially. Seismitoad does make that hard, since it requires your opponent's attacker to have an extra energy card. And Alex goes for the Guzma here. Maybe he wants to target down the energy acceleration of Reshiram. He knows that Lee has lost lots of his energy acceleration cards off of all those tails, coin flips. And if Reshiram goes down too, then I'm not sure how much is left for Lee to do in terms of energy acceleration. He might run out of resources. Aquapatch goes on to the Inteleon. Oh, this could be an incredible play from Alex here. Since Regidrago only has 10 HP remaining on it, Inteleon's attack can take a 2-prize knockout here by doing 20 damage to the bench. And like I said last turn, getting rid of all of Lee's energy in play is just such a hard thing to come back from. We'll see what happens here, but Alex just needs one more energy in hand to attach to the Inteleon, which I'm sure he has. Super Rod to just get back the cast form, a free retreater, and puts it on the bench with the Brooklet Hill. Dreadigan being at only 120 HP is pretty rough. Seismitoad is also here. If Lee is even able to get through this Inteleon, Seismitoad is there to just simply wall him out after that, because he has so few energy in play. Alex draws with the Abyssal Hand. Did Alex whiff energy here? That would be really interesting to see. Oh no. That is an unfortunate whiff that could have been a huge play for Alex. And now looks like he might have to go for just Jet Punch with the Palafin to take a knockout on the Drago, but only doing 30 to the active. So that 2-prize knockout looks like that will not be happening. Unfortunate for Alex. That was a game-winning play had he hit the energy. Interesting. I wonder, Alex decides to come up with Grudge Dive. Is he worried about the Palafin going down? I am curious about that. I feel like targeting the Regidrago and removing its draw ability would probably be stronger, since it's already fully powered up. Or that would leave the Dreadigan active, so he's not able to even use Reshiram's Turbo Blaze ability. Lee plays the Clara, gets the Dreadigan with Turbo Blaze and an energy, fully powered up for a revenge knockout. And Lee promotes the Regidrago to hopefully stop, because if it was on the bench, it could easily get knocked out. He doesn't want to give up 2 prizes at once. He wants Alex to swing into it in the active. So that is a heads-up play by Lee. I wonder if Alex had to use Jet Punch. Would he be worried about switching out again, potentially? I'm not sure what is in his hand to cause that, but taking out the Drago and not allowing Reshiram to be active again, I feel like would have been pretty strong. But here comes Seismitoad. Seismitoad with the muscle band on it. And he has the boss in hand. He has boss in hand to remove Lee's energy acceleration Pokemon. He uses Scoop Up Net to pick up the Inteleon line. Going to be able to reuse that Shady Dealings ability on the next turn. And he announces Echoed Voice. Echoed Voice does 140 damage with the muscle band and will do 100 more damage on the following turn. Also, the Quaking Zone ability is active, meaning Lee will have to find a third energy to attach to this Drudigan to even use its revenge attack. Lee has Raihan for turn with a Wishful Baton on the Drudigan to hopefully preserve all this energy that is required of him. But in the face, this Seismitoad is so scary because with the baton on Drudigan, it means he's not doing any bonus damage. And he would only need 1 damage modifier to take the knockout. I don't know if Lee even plays a Muscle Band in this deck. But if he did, taking out the Seismitoad probably would have been pretty strong. But being able to conserve the energy is good for the next turn. Though, what's the point of conserving the energy if, again, you have to 2-hit swing into the Seismitoad? So for the same energies being used, you still have to double swing into this Seismitoad. And he begins powering up the Drago to hopefully pull something off, going in for 160 on the Seismitoad. Alex, 3 prizes remaining. Lee, 2 prizes remaining. Alex has fully built up Seismitoad and Palafin. Lee struggling to continue to string attackers together. He just barely needs to do it a couple more turns. With the Field Blower on the Wishful Baton from Alex off of the Shady Dealings, all those energies are about to get discarded. So Lee may be able to even go down to 1 prize with the Regidrago, but Alex will be able to respond with the Palafin, and at that point, Lee will have no energy in play. It is looking rough for Lee. Just running a bit low on resources, and it makes you wonder, had he flipped heads on the sticker or the Turbo Patch earlier, or hit the Ether or the Max Elixir, would he have enough energy in play to close this game out? Alex announces Echoed Voice with the Seismitoad to go down to just 2 prizes remaining. Lee, 2 energies on the Regidrago, would need to get 2 more energies or play a Hex Maniac to get a knockout on this Palpitoad, or to get a knockout on this Seismitoad. And he does not look too confident, debating on who to put active. He could attach and draw 1 with Drago to see what he hits. Not sure if there are any outs here. Again, Alex has a guaranteed return knockout with the Palafin. And Lee has Mela to get that final energy attachment he needs and draw 4 cards. However, he's still unable to get any additional energy onto his benched Pokemon. All of his Pokemon take 2 to 3 energy to attack. He's used Clara twice. He's used his Rescue Stretcher. I don't know if there's any way he can recover the Reshiram. But he takes the knockout with Giant Fangs on the Drago, hoping for a way to get some energy on another attacker to win this game. Debating on what to take off the prizes, Water Energy or Air Balloon. He is hurting for energy, but he has energy retrieval in hand. He decides on the energy retrieval, or on the Water Energy. Which, yep. Okay, I was going to say maybe it should be Air Balloon since he has a fire and energy retrieval in hand. He has ways to get the basic energies he needs. But Air Balloon can guarantee retreat into what he wants, so that's probably the correct grab. Alex draws for turn. Cast Form active. Will have the free retreat into the Palafin to do 210 damage. He has the evolution into Shady Dealings and Teleon. Again, this Regidrago still only has 10 HP remaining, so a Jet Punch could still take the knockout. Alex goes for a Bucket and a Hex Maniac off of the Shady Dealings. Hex Maniac will prevent any shenanigans from something like Turbo Blaze, were Lee able to recover it. Alex at this point just wants to stop Lee from powering anything up, and Alex would take this game. He wants to make it as hard as possible for Lee to respond. Alex uses Ultra Ball to discard Titanize, as well as I think it was Teammates, to draw a few more cards with Abyssal Hand. He has Versus Seeker in hand too, which he would probably want to save for next turn. Hex Maniac this turn. Make it as hard as possible for Lee to respond. Remove all the energies in play. And then next turn, Versus Seeker can grab Guzma to reset the Palafin by switching it, allowing him to do 210 damage back-to-back turns and take the win. Alex plays the Hex Maniac, shutting off all abilities in play for the next turn. And Alex decides on the Jet Punch because it's taking a knockout either way and setting up damage on one of his benched Pokemon. He hits the Koraidon for 30 damage. Lee is in a tough spot. Not sure he has what it takes to get back. He top decks a Custom Catcher. Air Balloon to the active. Cross Transceiver, flip a coin. If heads, it is heads. He can search for, I believe, any supporter. He finds the Guzma. Is Lee's play here just to stall, but we know Alex has the Versus Seeker in hand. There's not a lot Lee can do here. Started off so strong and had lots of tails flips in the middle to hurt his chances of attacking again, unfortunately. Best hope here is just to begin attaching energy, play Guzma, and hope Alex can't attack for a turn. Plays the energy retrieval now, gets some energy back to hand. Basic water and basic grass back to hand. And Lee Guzma's up the Octillery, probably hoping for the best. And Alex draws with Abyssal Hand, and it is the switch raft to simply switch, take the final knockout with Palafin, and win the game, though he already had it with the Versus Seeker as well. But makes you think if Lee had been able to hit heads on some of those coin flip cards earlier in the game, would he have had enough energy to close it out? Alex, great comeback, setting up his board early, slowly powering up the things he needs. Seismitoad doing work, of course, being just out of range for the Druddigan to take the knockout. And then Palafin, an insanely strong attacker, cleaning it up, 210 to anything. Lee, great match, great showing. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing. I will continue to post more GLC content. Thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate you guys. If you want to see the deck list for Lee's interesting Turbo Dragon deck, check the description of the video. I will link it there. See you guys next time.